Hello everyone! Today, I'm going to be teaching you how to make an achievement system in Scratch. Now, you might be asking, why am I doing this again? I already made this video, like, I believe a year ago. I believe a year ago. The achievement system that I made wasn't great. It was not very customizable, it wasn't very robust. Yeah, it wasn't great. So I'll be improving it today and making the code simpler, and you can implement this into any of your Scratch projects. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, you might notice that I am in Turbo Warp instead of Scratch, and Turbo Warp, it's basically Scratch, but it runs off of JavaScript, so it's faster and has some Scratch mods that I won't be using, but are pretty useful, so I would highly recommend that you check it out if you are really into Scratch. We start off with Sprite 1, we can delete Sprite 1, we don't need Sprite 1, okay. Let's paint a new sprite, and let's call it, Achievement. Okay. And let's just paint some achievements in here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to create a square like this, make the outline a bit bigger, and let's make it a rounded square. If you don't know how to do that, we're going to just click this tool right here. We're going to click in the middle here, and then we can delete this, and it becomes a rounded corner. And we can do that same thing over here, and the same thing here, and here. Okay, these rounded corners aren't great, so what we can do is we can pull out these handles here, which makes the curve a bit wider. And let's just do the same thing on this side here. Great, okay. And let's just color this, let's just make it like light green like this, okay. And let's just make this achievement called, I don't know, what do we call it? Like, let's make a banner, so actually, let's make this box centered first, and then let's make this text centered. So the way you can do that is, it's already centered, as you can see it's on the middle box there. What we can do is hold down shift, or you can start dragging it, hold down shift, and it will align to one of these 8 axes. So what I can do is just drag up from here, drag up, and it'll be perfectly aligned in the middle. And let's just make sure that since we can have more than one achievement in a game, what I'm going to do is first of all rename this costume to First Steps, no spaces, no capitals, like this, First Steps. And we can duplicate this. We can call this second steps. There we go. And we can change the color around, so maybe this one can be pink. Why not? Or purple. There you go. Light purple, pink. Okay, so we have first steps and we have second steps. Now, glaring problem we're gonna realize. We're gonna notice that we cannot put this achievement box outside of the screen. So if we set our Y to like 300 or so, it's only gonna go up to Y 189 because Scratch doesn't want you to put sprites outside of the border that they set for you, because they want people to be able to see the sprites and actually see where they are instead of worrying about where they are because they're off screen. Okay, so the way we can fix this is because I want these achievements to come off from the top of the screen down to the bottom like this, and then back up. So I just want them to pop in, pop out like this. But we can't do that right now because Scratch won't let us drag the sprite outside of the screen because Scratch is lame sometimes. So the easiest way to fix this is by zooming all the way out. We're going to create a gigantic square, like this. Just make a really big square. It can be as big as you want, just don't make it like too small, right? And then we're just going to center that. Remember to center it, that's very important. And then what we can do is set the outline to blank and the fill color to blank, and then we're going to send this to the back. So now it's in the back. Okay. So what did that do for us? That didn't change the look of the sprite, but now you might notice that we are actually allowed to drag the sprite outside of the screen. So if we set this to 200, it will actually let us set the Y to 200. Or if we set it to 300, it will let us set it to 300, and as you can see, it's outside of the screen, so we can't see it. So why does this work? It's because this box that we just drew is Scratch considers this box as a part of the sprite, therefore the sprite is visible, visible, right? this box is going to be visible or on screen even if we drag the actual part of the achievement, like the little box, the rounded part here. If we drag that outside, this box, this giant box that we drew, is still going to be on the screen, which means that Scratch technically lets us drag the small one out of the screen because the big one is still not off the screen. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. We're just going to copy that box. Actually, no, we're going to make sure to unselect the achievement bit. We're going to scroll out, we're going to select all this, deselect the achievement bit here, and then we're going to copy that, and then we're going to go to first steps and paste it. Just make sure to have this box around the entire achievement box, or else it won't work. Okay, so that will fix one of our problems. Let's just make this go to 0, 0, because I want to be able to see the achievement. Okay, so now let's start writing some code. The way I want to make this achievement system is with clones. So what we can do is, first of all, when green flag clicked, we're just going to immediately hide because we don't want the achievement showing on. We don't want the main sprite showing on screen. We only want the clones showing on screen. Okay, and let's just let's just grab a when I start as a clone, and let's just use that later. I'll zoom in for you guys. Okay. Let's create a new block. So this block is gonna give the achievements. So we're gonna have them pop up on screen. So we can call it give achievement, and then let's just add an input and call this name. All right, and let's just click run without screen refresh and click OK. All right. So inside give achievement name, what we can do is we can go ahead and create a clone of myself. Okay, but how would this clone know what achievement we want to show? Because we're not showing that at all. So what we can do, we can create a new variable. Delete the my variable. We don't need my variable. Create a new variable. Call it costume name. And let's just make sure that we click for the sprite only. That's very important. Make sure to click for the sprite only. It's very important. Okay. Click OK. And now we have this costume name variable. Inside our when green flag click script, we're just going to set costume name to blank. And then what we can do is, before we create a clone, we can set costume name to name. Okay. So now we have this give achievement block. So what we can do is we can next time we want to give an achievement, we can just simply write the name. So in my case, first steps, and click this block, and it will give us the achievement. You can't see it at the moment because it's hidden. So what we can do is we can go ahead and go to looks, and just drag a show block underneath this when I start as a clone. If we click the green flag, that will delete all the clones on the screen, and then we can click the block, and that will show us an achievement. It will also show us that there's one clone, which is a mod that is in Turbo Warp, which is actually very useful, so I would recommend using it. We have this give achievement block, but we don't have a way to move this achievement onto and off the screen. It's just kind of sitting there. Like, if I click this, it'll just keep creating clones, and it really isn't that interesting. I kind of want the achievement to slide on screen from the top, but I don't want it to be static, which means I don't want it to be like discrete movement, which means I don't want it to just move at a fixed rate. What we can do is we can create a new block. We can call it smooth move, which will move up objects smoothly, which kind of makes sense. Okay, we're going to add an input X, we're going to add an input Y. Those are going to be the two coordinates that we want to move to. Then we're going to go ahead and add a text label. We're going to call it smoothing. This is how smoothly we want to move to that position. We're just going to say smooth, and then add another label, or repeat times, like that. We can add an input, and we can call it repeat. Repeats. There we go. Make sure to not click the run without screen refresh. Okay. Click OK. And now we have this block here. Okay, let's just define this block real quick. So what we can do is drag a repeat block, put repeats in here, and now we're going to do a bit of math. So we're going to go ahead and change change X by, we're going to go to operators, drag a division, and then drag a subtraction. here. And then what we can do is drag the X into the first box, and we can grab the X position, put that in the second box, and then we can divide that by smooth. Okay, now we can duplicate that, drag it down here, replace this change X by with a change Y by, replace this X here with a Y, replace this X position with a Y position. Okay, so that should be it. That should move smoothly. So yeah, that was really simple, right? Okay. So if we test it out, so let's say we want to move smoothly to 0, 0 with smoothing 8, and repeat times it can be 100, or maybe like 80, right? So if we click this block, as you can see, is it not moving? Oh yeah, that's because it's hidden. Okay, so watch this bottom one here. I'm just gonna click the green flag. Watch this one here. We can see that it smoothly moves to the center of the screen and then stops. Alright, so now we have this really cool smooth move block. What we can do is when I start as a clone, we can show, we can go ahead and switch the costume to, we're going to switch costume to the costume name variable, which we set over here. Costume name like that, show. So whenever we create a clone, we can switch it to the correct costume. So if we switch this to second steps, like this, it will create the second steps achievement variable. So that's very important. So before we show, I'm just going to go ahead and move our block to, we're going to move our block, or move our achievement to 0, Y, 2, 30. So that should put our achievement at the top of the screen there. And then after we show, I'm going to go ahead and smooth move to maybe 160? 160? Like that, smoothing maybe 10. Repeat times is 80 is fine. So when I start as a clone, let's just go ahead and click the give achievement. Let's see if that works. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. It's a bit high, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to 150. Let's try that again. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty nice. Okay. We can change the smoothing value to make it go faster, so we can change that to 6 if you want. That'll make it go faster. We can change the repeat times, so the more is better, but about 80 is fine, so we can leave that at 80. So these are the values you can control. So after we move down to here, right, after we move to here, I want it to go back up. So what we can do is we can smooth move again to 230. So if we try that again, it should wait a second, then go back up. And the reason it waits a second is because it will repeat 80 times, right? So the first smooth move will repeat 80 times, but the achievement will get to the position before all the repeats are done. So it will keep repeating until those repeats are done. If you really need to, you can add a wait block in here, but I've never found a reason to use that, so you can just do that. If you need more time, you can increase this wait time, repeat times to maybe like 100, and that will make it wait even longer before going back up. You might notice there's a slight problem that if we just, for example, if we just spam this, right? Clones will add up really fast, even if the achievements are all off the screen. So all the clones are off the screen, but as you can see, the clone number is still at 40, which is bad because there's only 300 clones available to us in Scratch, and we've already used 40 of them. And the more achievements you have, the more clones will be used up until you eventually hit this limit of 300 clones. But the real question is, why aren't we deleting the clones after we go to the top of the screen? So what we can do is drag a delete this clone block to the bottom of this stack here, and that should very easily just do that and then go back up. And when it goes back up, it should delete the clone. Yeah, there you go, it's gone now. Alright, so that's very cool, but as you can see, this is kind of annoying, seeing more than one achievement on top of each other. That's kind of gonna be annoying in a way, because you can't see all the achievements you get if you get a bunch of achievements at the same time. Like, for example, if I do first steps here, and if we do second steps here. So if we have these two blocks, we can click both of them like this, but as you can see, the first steps achievement is below the second steps achievement, which is not what I want. So I want these clones to wait until the previous achievement is gone and then show themselves on screen. So what we can do is we can go over here, we can create a new variable. We can call it achievement active question mark. Make sure it's for all sprites. Click OK. We're gonna go ahead and set achievement active to 0 under the when green flag clicked. And when I started a clone, we're gonna go ahead and wait until up here all the way at the top. We're gonna wait until achievement active is equal to 0. And then we're going to go ahead and immediately below that, we can set achievement active to 1. So this will wait until all the achievements are gone. But we need a way to reset this variable, so what we can do is at the very bottom, right before we delete this clone, we can set achievement active to 0. Okay, so now what would happen is if we click both of these at the same time, as you can see, the second steps achievement waits until the first one is gone, and then shows, which is really nice. And as you can see, the previous one, the previous achievement, the next achievement waits till the previous achievement is gone and then shows up. As you can see, this is really nice actually. I really like this. That is showing achievements all done. Now we just need a way to give achievements to people. So what we can do is come over here and we can paint a new sprite. Let's just call it sprite 1, why not? And what we can do is just when green flag clicked, I'm just gonna wait 1 second and then give the first steps achievement to the player, just for testing purposes. So what we can do is go ahead and utilize broadcasts. Broadcasts are very useful. So what we can do is create a new message, call it, let's just prefix it with something really obvious so that it's not unclear to anybody. So what we can do is call it achievement, or maybe give achievement dash, and then we can call it first steps. Alright, give achievement first steps. Click OK. And then maybe wait another half second, 0.5, and then we can create a new message, give achievement dash second steps. Like that. Okay, click OK. And now what we can do is go in the achievements. We can go ahead and do the when I receive give achievement first steps. What we can do is we can give achievement first steps. Like that. Okay. So we might notice a bit of an issue here, but that's not going to be immediately apparent. So what we can do is we can go ahead and do the other one as well. So second steps. Like this. All right. So that should be it for here, because that will give the achievements. So let's just try this out. Let's see how many clones are created. 1, 2, 3. What? Why were there more clones? What? That's weird. Okay, well, I know why. It's because, see, there's 3 clones, even though I only asked for two broadcasts. And the reason for that is because broadcast messages show up to every single clone, including every single sprite. So the clones are actually receiving this message and also creating their own achievements, which is not what we want. So what we can do, the costume name variable will always have a name except for the main sprite, because the main sprite we set to have a blank costume name. What we can do is go ahead and right below this define achievement, we can go ahead and set costume name back to nothing, so that the achievements only get created by the main sprite. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, so what we can do is we can grab an equals, grab the costume name variable. If costume name is nothing, then we can create an achievement. So we're just checking if this achievement is being created by the costume name, the sprite with the costume name of nothing, which is the main sprite. So now if we try it out, we can see that only 2 clones are created because we only asked for 2 clones. Alright, so the achievement system is pretty much done. One more thing I want to add is checking if an achievement is already given and not give that achievement again, which is kind of useful because we don't really want more than one achievement being given if it's the same achievement. So what we can do is we can create a list. A list is very useful. So what we can do is create a new list, call it given achievements, like this. Make sure it's for all sprites. And then for when green flag clicked, we can delete all of given achievements. And when give achievement name is called, we can go ahead and add thing to given achievements, and we're just going to add name to given achievements. Okay, so now whenever we click the green flag, as you can see, first steps and second steps are immediately added to the given achievements list. Okay, so when we are giving the achievement in this give achievement block, we can check if the achievement has already been given, and if it has been, we just don't give it again. So what we can do is if what we can do is if given achievements contains name, and if this is true, then we're not going to give the achievement. So what we can do is if not given achievement contains name, then we can go ahead and add name to given achievements and create the clone. This is a very easy achievement system to add. What you can do is just simply drag this achievement sprite into your backpack, and now you can just drag it into any sprite and any project, and it will be given achievements. You just have to set up achievements in the costumes and and then you have to actually give the achievement. So let me just give you an example of creating a new achievement. So let's say I want to make another achievement called third steps, right? So what we can do is we can duplicate this. We can call it third steps. See, very creative names. So what we can do is align that to the center. Let's just change the color of this again. So let's make it like red or something. We can call this third steps, right? And what we can do is we can go ahead and go to our code. We can duplicate this. When I receive a new message, give achievement third steps, and then we can just give the achievement third steps, like that. Okay. And now what we can do is, instead of giving first steps here, we can give third steps. And that will actually work very easily. So, as you can see, this is a very robust and easy way to add achievements to your Scratch games. It's always very easy to add more achievements, and it's very versatile. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed this video, I have a bunch of other Scratch tutorials on my channel, so go ahead and check those out. Those might be useful to you. Alright, thank you for watching, and goodbye.